Thanks, everybody. Welcome back to Paranormal, Phantom Paranormal. Thank you so much for all your comments, everybody. I appreciate them so much, and thank you so much for helping me trying to figure out what it's saying. Uh, I just wanted to tell you this part, okay? Okay, I've already made one video and ran over and had to start over, damn it. Okay, so here's the story. Okay, this house was built brand new like 4 to 5 years ago. Brand new. Everything. Okay? This used to have my father in law's little small place on it, but now they built a big, big house here. Okay? Okay. Okay. Original story 4 acres was all together. To the left of us was my father in law's dad's and mother's house. Little small country house. Little small country house. They both passed away in that house. Okay? Now, the family, not me, they ended up selling the house and that 2 acres of the property to our neighbors now. But now our neighbors are living in the house where my grandfather and grandmother-in-law lived and passed away. I never got to meet my grandmother-in-law. I heard she was a very nice lady and all that. And I did, though, know my grandfather-in-law for 3 years before he passed. He served in the military, but from what I understand, they had a weird, strange marriage. He was always accusing her of being a womanizer, and they both were getting so old. But basically, she passed away way before he did, and okay, so this has a lot to do with it, I'm sure. So pay attention. Uh, she was buried where she wanted to be buried, okay? Well, my father-in-law, dad, okay, that lived in the house, was so sick and twisted of a man. Not that he was a bad man, he just had his ways about him. Had her body exhumed and removed from where she wanted to be buried, and had her body relocated to be buried next to him. And that's not what she wanted. Okay? And I know that because I've heard that story told by my wife's sisters, by my mother-in-law. This is my mother-in-law's house we're living in. She's never here, so she lets us stay here. We pay her rent. Okay. So we're on the right side of the 4 acres. They're on the left side. They're in the original house they passed away in. This house is built brand new, but I know it's got to be my grandfather-in-law and my grandmother-in-law going back and forth between houses. That's got to be it. That's got to be it, guys. So now you know the story. And here's something to add to that. I was told, okay, and even when my grandfather-in-law was alive and I would go over to the house that's now owned by somebody else that he lived in when he was alone, I would walk in the door and get in a certain spot of the house, and I'm sensitive. Real sensitive. I'm not what you would call psychic. Psychic. but I am sensitive. I feel things because of what I've been through. Uh, my body's real sensitive because of the torture I've been through. My mind's real sensitive. I pick up stuff real easy. Because if you happen to see that video I produced, every day as a child was a fight for life for me. So I'd get in a certain spot of that house when I'd walk in while my grandfather-in-law was still alive, and I could literally feel a lady standing there just screaming at me. And I would feel that. I couldn't actually hear her. I felt that feeling. My stepson felt that feeling. My son felt that feeling every time we went over there. So I quit going over there. But the story that was told to me by my wife and my wife's stepmother, this is her house, letting us stay here, after he did have her body exhumed and put where he wanted it, not where she wanted it, she started haunting him over there. And I don't blame her. There's so many stories I could go on for days about what she did, but I'll just tell you this one particular story. He says he had this dream. He told my wife and stepmother about this. He had a dream that his wife that passed away came to him and was talking about changing some buttons on a sweater. And he said, "Leave me alone, woman, I'm trying to sleep." That's how he talked to her. That she needed the buttons for something. Well, he got up the next day and went to put his sweater on, and there were 3 buttons missing off of that sweater. My wife looked at it, my my mother-in-law looked at it. They were missing, never to be found. And he dreamed that she was going to take buttons, he said. And you got to keep in mind he was elderly then. So I'm sure that's who it is. There's nobody else it could be unless it's just some wandering spirit that I can't think of that would be way out here in the country. It's got to be them, folks. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it at a low level. What I did, the major part I captured. I've got the whispering part. I'm hearing perfect, running it through my Fender amp and headphones. I'm going to try to do a way later, not right now. I can't let it consume my whole life. I mean, because I want to make other videos too. And keep in mind, I've got 2 other DVRs to go through completely through and see what I picked up through them. I'm still on this Olympus. So I'm going to go through this at different levels of volume, hoping you guys might pick something else up. So here we go. I'm loading it. It's at a relatively low volume. I'm going to put it close kind of to the speaker in. So I hope you guys can maybe figure something else from it being at a lower level. Here we go. It's on level 10. It goes to 30. You can hear me talk and then hear him come in. I know it's him. And maybe her.
Oh, this is another one. Another fucking one. Another one. Another one.
Okay, and there's more, of course, but that's the majority of it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pump up the volume a little bit. I'm going up to 14. Okay, here we go. And please give me some feedback if you catch something new that you hear. I'm using my EVP analyzer and it's helping a little bit, but it's taking forever. So here we are at 14 now.
Oh, this is another one. Another one. Another fucking one. Another one. Another one. Okay, everybody.
Okay. I didn't know this was going to... But like I said, though, okay, at my apartment, what you just heard, I could get this thing. Just imagine what you're hearing now, never stopping. That's the results I got using that system. That's the main reason I put out that video that I put out showing you that system, because I wanted it to be put out in the paranormal community before I passed away. I hope I'm not going real soon, but the doctors kind of told me I don't have a whole lot of time. I've got some bad problems going on. My mother passed away of COPD. Everybody in my family smoked growing up. My father, my uncles, my aunts, everybody. When I was a child, I said I'd never smoke. I hated it. I could remember being in the car with all of them with the windows up, not being able to take a fucking breath because they were smoking. I used to have a no smoking sign on the door when they'd come over. I'd go hide out in my room. But sure as shit, when I got to be a teenager in high school, I started smoking like a dumbass. And my aunt and my lovely family was the first one that gave me my first 2 packs of cigarettes. She gave me 2 packs of brand new out of the freezer Marlboro Light 100s, and my cousin Brian, she gave him 2 packs and me 2 packs out of her carton and said, okay, here boys, quit stealing my fucking cigarettes. From then on, I became a full-fledged smoker and smoked from the age of 13, 14 till the age of 40. So in my full thing of smoking, I got up to 2.5 packs a day. Now I vape, and that saved my life. I don't care what you've heard negative about vaping. I had COPD so bad I was going to the hospital every week. Once I started vaping, I haven't been to the hospital in over a year now with my COPD. So I appreciate it. And I have a bad bladder disease that my bladder's eating itself alive. They've got medication, but Thanks, everybody. I got to go. I'm at my mark. Thanks for listening and try to figure out what you can. Bye-bye.